Hey guys and girls, the absolute best N70 Hilux bash plates you can get your hands on. The absolute best, and here's all the reasons why and some information about fitting them, and towards the end, all the technical specifications you might want to know. Hey guys and girls, Anthony 4x4 Diesel. Have a look at these N70 Hilux underbody protection, or otherwise known as bash plates. I call them bash plates. Anyway, these things are that beautiful. It's like you don't even want to get a scratch on them. They're just so nice. Anyway, kaon.com.au, sit tight. I'm about to fit them up to the vehicle. They're kind of like a bit of a prototype as far as I know. I'll tell you what, they're bloody good looking prototypes, aren't they? So if everything fits up and it goes well and I'm happy, I'll give you the go ahead. But these, they are very lightweight and super strong. It's not your standard kind of steel. I don't even know the details, but let's just get them on the vehicle. So these are your old standard things. When I say I don't know the details, I know it's thinner, it's lighter, and it's even stronger, much stronger than your normal steel. So we'll get some more details in some other videos. So make sure you subscribe, turn the bell on so we can tell you about it if you want to know. But this is our 2013 Hilux. So it looks like one of the plates comes up to this cross member here, so that's good, down to about, so it looks like a replacement of that one, and then another one that goes back onto this cross member here, protecting the transmission as well. So let's start off by getting these off. Obviously 4 bolts to get that one off. 1, 2, 3, 4 to get that one off. 1, 2, 4, 4, 4 if the mathematics are correct. 12 bolts I'm about to take out, get rid of these. Let's get these new babies up there. All right, literally 4 minutes later, there it is. 12 bolts out. So the bolts are little 12mm heads. That's what I was trying to say. 12 bolts, 12mm, they're off. New ones here, beautiful. I'm going to assume we need to put that one on first, and then I'll put this one and then the rear one, but then I could be wrong, so we'll find out. Maybe that one needs to go on. Yeah, we'll just see, I'll let you know. And this is what the vehicle looks like without any underbody protection, just so you can see what's under there. Obviously these are strong. If you had your bash plates off, you could we did a video sooner or later jacking up the vehicle and putting it on the hoist, and I've said it's very dangerous, don't do it, disclaimer and all that, but this would be a really good place to put jacks under. Obviously it's not central, but if you just wanted to do one side at a time, it's one of the lowest points. You can get your jack piece to hook into there, sort of thing. But of course this cross member here is the 2 cross members, and there's your jacking point right there in the middle. Okay, officially, so yeah, you can see the original existing bolts. I'm assuming that that's what's going to be used, right? You can see a lot of these holes there. That's what's going to be used. I'm not sure what gets used in this yet. I know as much as you, and you'll know as much as me if you keep watching. But what I'm going to do at the moment, I'm actually just going to give those a spray with some CRC. You can see we already, last time we had off, we put some bit of grease in there, but I like to spray them with CRC, blow it, compressed air, get any dirt and crap out of the holes, because if you're fighting dirt and stuff in these holes, it's going to be hard to put the bolts in. So we're going to give them a bit of a spray and a blow and a spray and all that sort of thing, and put a bit of grease on the bolts before they go in. So we're just getting our nuts and bolts that are supplied with it ready to go. And we have another little extra in our package, and I'm not 100% sure what it is yet, but we've asked for an oil change solution. And this looks suspiciously to me like something that's the oil's going to drip onto and run off. However that's going to go, that's the KAON engineering for. If you want to know, stick around, because when I figure it out, I'll show you. All right, so standard hardware, 10 bolts, 10 of those washers, 4 bigger washers and 2 bigger bolts and nuts. Let's see where they go, eh? Okay, so stage 1, if I've got it right, putting this piece on first was so easy, using 4 of the smallest bolts. You can still see the other, I've cleaned and lubricated those. I've also lubricated the bolts. We've got 4 holes left, so that's probably going to be a really easy bolt up this front section as well. Look at the bloody quality. This thing is, mate, solid as. Right now, that little oil change thing, I reckon it's something that bolts onto that hole there, and so when the oil comes down. But let's just see. We can't guarantee how well this is going to work, but I can guarantee, mate, these bash plates, they are solid, and that's for sure. There's no doubt about that. Have a look at this, eh? Unbelievable, right? Unbelievable. Anyway, at least it gives us some access, and there's a lot of strength there as well. See these folds here? They are what gives the strength as well, okay? So I don't know how well we're going to be able to bend these up, but we're going to get it out on the tracks and try it. But I don't know, like I said, we'll have more info on the material later, but it is some super duper stronger but thinner than the other gear. Let's get this front plate on. I know, stop talking, just get it on there, right? Literally, one of the best parts is it's not too heavy. I've literally held that up with one hand. It's not even bolted up yet, right? It's just sitting there, right? It's just sitting there. All I've done is I've put in that one bolt there. You can see this one's not in there, either are they. It's just nice and light, right? You can hold it up, put one bolt while you go get the other bolts. It's not, instead of one big heavy, some of these plates they put on one big heavy piece of steel. It's just way too hard to manage. It's going to cost you a slab every time we work on your vehicle. Something like this, nice and easy. Well, looks nice and easy so far. Looks bloody good. Let's get the bolts in it, eh? Just putting them in lightly for now. How good does that look? Beautiful. Even better if I had the camera straight. Right, that was super easy so far. You can see we've got one piece left still, and you may or may not want this piece. You may just want to replace these sump guards. So let's go and have a look and see what's left. So this is your front protection, right? It looks like it's going to fit up to any vehicle. I mean, it doesn't come to the bull bar. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't come there, which is fine. It's just replacing that initial bash plate. So I can't see complications with fitting it to a vehicle without a bull bar or with other bull bars. But, you know, you need to do it to see, don't you? You just need to have a look, see where they come up to that cross member there below your radiator and go, yep, I can't see anything that's going to be in the way. It's, you know, you can see right there, extra airflow. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay. Having a look around the back here, we're going to get to this all drain situation soon. But what you could do, see the two bolt holes there? They're the two bolt holes that hold that stock plate there. So if you thought you didn't want to go all the way, you can't afford it, you don't have to get that rear plate to protect and cover the transmission there. You can leave that standard thing in place there. But what obviously we're going to do, because that's what we've got in this vehicle, is going off-road, hitting the tracks, and we want maximum protection. And probably next could be even something for this, but we'll just see how it goes. This is definitely going to get a bit of a touch, but we'll just do it gently and hopefully we won't break anything. Anyway, let's get that last piece on. Now I've just done them up lightly at the moment. It's just sitting in place. As you can see, all holes cleaned and lubricated, and bolts lubricated as well. Right, so all we got left here is the big bolts, the big nuts and washers. Let's have a look at the car. Literally, I've lifted it up and put, just like the rear one, the other bolts, the front. This is just the front two. They're just literally hand tight with the socket. This slips up each side of this cross member. How awesome is this, eh? Mate, I'm impressed, mate. You've outdone yourselves this time. Obviously, that's where that bolt goes, nut and bolt goes through there, and that's going to sort of clamp that material together over the chassis there. And, you know, just perfect fit. Once again, you need to obviously take it off to do your transmission oil change. But what I like about this one, there's heaps of holes so the air can get through. So a bit of air cooling as the air comes around here, bang up into here sort of thing. So airflow is what we need. The other important thing is it's got the folds for the strength. Instead of just being flat, these folds is what give it strength, particularly at the sides here where it's going to get hit. Might get a little bit bent up in the middle. We'll soon see. Just stay tuned. We've got 2 YouTube channels, right? This is 4x4 Diesel, but YouTube 4x4 Adventures, spelt the same except Adventures, and you're going to see what we do to these bash plates out on the tracks. We're not going to deliberately out to wreck them, but we're going to do some harder tracks, and we're going to genuinely tell you what we think you do and don't need for out on the tracks. And underbody protection, to be quite honest, in IFS vehicles is one of the number ones. And as you can see right here, KAON.com.au do it best. And that's why we're telling you about their stuff. Bada bing, mate. It's just beautiful. Look, guys, to say I'm impressed and worth the wait is an understatement. I haven't fully tightened everything up yet. Just wanted to show you the last bolts. Initially, what I did, I put the bolts through the other way. I thought, I'll keep it looking neat with the bolt head here and the nut in there. But then I went, you know what? I'm not too fussed about neat. What I really want is I'd rather have the nut out this side. That way, if for whatever reason it went missing, I can see that the nut's gone missing and replace it. I don't expect that's really going to happen anyway. Just easier access, whatever. I think these were 15 and the bolt heads in there were 16, if that's helpful. Obviously, we've just got to tighten it all up now. It's just sitting there loosely at the moment. We're going to go over and tighten it all up, and then we'll show you a final view of what everything looks like. So there's the old underbody protection, and that's where that'll be staying. Well, not exactly. the bolts will get bagged up and get a spray of CRC or something to keep them good for another vehicle when we need them. These bash plates, they'll get washed up and go up on the mezzanine. Probably never to be used again, but you never know. Bada bing, I'm impressed. Let's have a final look here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put some Loctite on these bolt threads just to be sure I don't think they're going to go anywhere, but you never know. Air cooling, awesome. Strength, awesome. The height as well, estimate that height at about 50 mil higher. So it's actually helps you prevent getting hung up where you might have been getting hung up on this cross member here. Things are going to slide across the cross member, right? Slide across, which is why the next thing I think of something that's mounted really strongly to give protection to this. And probably before that, what would come, I think, is, see, this is just plastic, this thing here. So a bit of replacement fuel tank guard, which could be difficult because the mounting system on this only mounts to the fuel tank, if you know what I mean. It doesn't mount to the chassis, so the holes aren't there, so it's not going to be as easy as doing the ones on the Pradas, but it's not a big deal. I don't think this is too bad. We'll get it out on the tracks and we'll see what happens. And yeah, this is the main thing. IFS vehicle, limited lift at the front. You don't want to be too high because when you go up hills, the front gets unsprung, and that's where you get your height, and you still want to have wheel travel to keep your wheels on the ground to keep driving. So you don't want to be too high at the front. There's a number of reasons for that, but I'm just so impressed with this setup. These bolts, easy to get. You're not going to see how you're not going to damage your bolt heads. Anything that slides over there, bang, straight over. Look, KAON, quality design. They take the time. It took some time to think and work this out to what the best system is. And obviously this is an add-on for some other bull bar or something. I don't know. I don't know about that, but that's awesome. But I don't know about that yet. Right, but the point is, right, as you come across, everything slides straight over. All your bolts are recessed up there, but easy to access. Look at them up there, right? They're all there, right? They're all hidden away where they're going to not get damaged. Look at the finish on this. Look at that. It's like furniture almost. It doesn't need to be this good, right? So it doesn't really matter what's happening up there. But up there, what's happening is oil changes. So now what we're going to do is work out this little extra piece, how it goes. Because, well, the good news is you can take these bash plates off without too much trouble for an oil change to help you clean up whatever. But it's only 4 bolts, I guess. But, you don't want to have to do that is the whole idea of this new design. Let's see what it looks like. Let me get it on there. So the important part of the design of this transmission plate is a lot of vehicles, okay, so you're out on the sand, out on the beaches, out on the dunes, and you turn and you spin your wheels and sand gets thrown off this tyre straight up over this direction. And a lot of bash plates, they're flat on the bottom and they've got sides curving upwards and they just fill up, and it actually packs in with sand in between the pan here and the plate, which is not good. So the good design about this, you've got your folds for strength, I was saying before, but this is the low point here, even though it's higher than, say, forward on the vehicle, you're about 50 mil, as I said. Basically, and you've got all these holes, air holes, and also any dirt, debris, or anything that gets in there. So there's enough material there for protection, but there's enough there. This obviously saves weight by cutting it out. It allows airflow, and it also lets that sand, dirt, and mud, makes it easy to wash out. You stick your hose in from the sides, and all the water comes in here. It just washes straight out the holes. It's really open, and you can still access your factory jacking point clearly as well if you want to do that. So anyway, if you didn't want to buy one already, if you didn't want a set of these on your vehicle, wait till I show you what's next. This is absolutely awesome. Okay, so we said we need an oil drain solution, right? We need an oil, and that little thing I told you about, so I use Loctite on this bolt. I don't know if you meant to put it on and off when you do an oil change, but as far as I'm concerned, it stays there permanently, right? So there it is, sits beautiful. Look at that, guys. Now, it might be a little bit harder to get you. I don't think it's going to make any difference, to be honest. It's going to be a little bit harder to get you, because you're normally going to use like a 4 or 6 inch extension, 14 mil. For this, typically I use 1/2 inch drive. So I'm going to use an extension, a ratchet, and a 14 mil single hex socket. So you're still going to be able to get up there to that, no problem. And okay, so when you go to put your hand, I'm just doing a test now. So you can't see much really, right? But I'm still going to be able to turn that and whip my hand out of the way quickly as much as before. And that's either going to clear that. We don't know. We've got to test this. We've got to do an oil. I'm not due for an oil change. I just did it not long ago. So I'm not going to test this, but they've tried. So if you didn't want one of these bash plates already, I think they're worth a lot more than this thing. But even if this one doesn't work, I reckon we're going to make it work, or KAON will change this, right, to make it work. So I'm pretty sure that it's either going to work, it's going to be better than what was there before, that's for sure. So if you want some of these bash plates, tell you what, I don't know if they're available yet. They're going to be hot property. Everyone's got an N70. These are certainly probably the best bash plates underbody protection I've ever seen on any vehicle. And actually, it makes me want something like this for the Prados as well, because it is so thin, lightweight, and even stronger. I don't know the specifications, but that'll be in another video. And eventually we'll do an oil change, or if somebody else gets a set of these plates and you get one of these and you do an oil change, you'll let us know how you go. But one thing for sure, once it's dripping, so I don't know if that's going to flow, so that might flow and then it might hit that and then spray everywhere at the start. Could be a big mess, right? Could be a big disaster. This is a prototype design, okay? And I'm not going to go and drop the oil just to see. We're going to wait till we're due for an oil change. So this is not the decider whether you buy the plates or not. It's just we need to test that out. It may need to be, I suspect it might need to be a bit lower here, right? So we might even be able to, you know what I mean? This is fairly thin material. We might be able to manipulate that to how we want it anyway. But definitely towards the end, right? So I don't know if you take it off, you drop your oil out. I think it's going to clear this area here. This is the only other issue, whether we need to make this a little bit bigger here, but I think it's going to clear it. It's looking good, right? Look at the angle. I'll try and give you the angle. So I think it's going to be good for oil changes. But towards the end, it's definitely going to drip off there. Anyway, guys, hope you like these bash plates. Really easy to put on. I'm very impressed. I'm kind of hanging out to do an oil change now, but I can wait. It's okay. There's plenty of other things going on. Smash the like button, subscribe, turn the bell on, because soon we'll have a video with some of the information about this material. And yeah, to say impressed is an understatement and worth the wait. You know, we did ask for these. I think the Hilux definitely needed something, and it needed to be strong, easy to install and remove. You can see, as I already pointed out, the protection. And if there was a solution to be able to do oil changes without taking them off, that's what we wanted. So they've done their best, but these things sometimes need fine tuning. So there could be a Mark II, a Mark III, that sort of thing. This could get a little bit bigger. It could be fine. I don't know. I'm just, you know, I'm making assumptions here. We haven't done it yet, right? This is a new thing. So if you don't want, you know, if the oil hits here, it could. I don't think so. I think we're going to be good to go. But if it does, and then they change it and make an extra 10 mil here or something later into Mark II, don't complain, because I'm telling you now, it's a new thing. So if you love it, get all over it. And if you want to wait and see what happens with that oil change, or somebody else is going to get one, put it in the comments. If you've got some of these, you can come back to this video. If you get some, let us know, yep, I did an oil change without that and it didn't hit that, or with that and it worked, or whatever happened anyway. And if you make a video, that'd be even better. Put it on Oz Hilux Crew. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you liked it. Bada bing, we're out of here. See ya. All right, and just finally some tech spec on these. So these 3 pieces weigh in at a total of about 20 kilos, so not too heavy. There's a lot of bash plates a lot heavier than that, even with just this front section. So that's all 3. You can obviously not have the transmission guard. If you don't want that, you can just go for the front one. You can always add that on later. Okay, so there's your weight. What else do you want to know? The price? Look, can't remember exactly. I think they're going to be about $600 for the front section, at about $250 for the rear, so somewhere short of $900. Why? Okay, I'll tell you why. Very light and strong. 700 grade steel, apparently, I'm told. Now, normal steel is something like 200 and something grade, so it's kind of like heaps stronger. It's really strong, so because it's so strong, they can go 3 mil, so it's nice and light, but it's still heaps stronger. Something like 40 or 60% stronger than the 4 mil. So super strong, super light, awesome powder coat, awesome finish, awesome fit up. One little other upgrade they're going to do, as per my suggestion, see the bolts here, the nuts, I've just put some Loctite on there and a bit extra, because that's how we roll. But it's going to come with Nylox after at least maybe the first few, in case somebody's got one already. But it's going to come with Nylox, all right? So Nylox are going to go on there, because why wouldn't you? And other than that, I couldn't come up with one thing to improve these. As I said, the only thing we don't know is, it looks good. I believe it's all going to be right. Everything looks good. You know, there's a thing called a plan, and then there's how it turns out. and there could be a Mark II with changes. So if you love getting in first, to be the first with your this, that, and the other, then get it now. And if you're happy to be, oh, that didn't work out and you're going to remove this or there might be a different one of these later, or you might have to modify it. But look, you look at the angle, it's, you know, to me, it's going to be perfect. I'm just trying to say, right, you don't know what's going to happen. We haven't done an oil change yet. If you want to see the oil changes, subscribe, turn the bell on, or get yourself one. And on Oz Hilux Crew, come on to Oz Hilux Crew on Facebook. It's one of our groups. No swearing, no personal attacks, no carry on. And we can just share awesome things. And if somebody gets a set of these and they're first to do an oil change, it'd be really good to hear from them to find out how it went, with photos and videos, always even more fun. Once again, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you liked your bit of bonus info. Smash that like button. Catch you on the next one. See ya.